A veteran rated 70% gets about $1,800 a month. That same veteran paid at the 100% rate gets just under $4,000. That's more than $2,000 extra every single month, around $25,000 a year, and the rating on paper never moved off 70. It's called TDIU, and most veterans who qualify never file for it. So here's how it works: who gets it, how to win it, and the rules once you're in. TDIU stands for Total Disability, based on Individual Unemployability. In plain English, it pays you at the full 100% rate when service-connected disabilities keep you from holding a steady, gainful job, even when your combined rating is lower. It's one of the most valuable benefits in the system, and one of the most underclaimed. Let's kill the myths first, because they're what stop people from filing. Myth 1. You need a 100% rating to get 100% pay. You don't. That's the whole point of TDIU. The number on your decision letter and the number on your check are two different things. Myth 2. If you work at all, you're disqualified. Not true. The test is substantially gainful work, not any work. Odd jobs, a few protected hours, a job someone keeps open for you, that's marginal employment, and it doesn't count against you. Myth 3. The day you go back to work, you lose it. No, the law gives you room to try. Going back can't cut your rating unless you hold substantially gainful work for 12 straight months, and short breaks don't reset that clock. Myth 4. The VA can yank it the moment an exam looks better. It's much harder than that. To reduce TDIU, the VA has to prove you're actually employable by clear and convincing evidence and follow a formal process before anything changes. Myth 5. TDIU is a watered-down, temporary version of 100%. It pays the exact same rate, dependents included, and once any rating's been in place for 20 years straight, the law protects it from being cut unless it was based on fraud. So how do you actually qualify? The real question isn't whether you have a job today, it's whether your service-connected disabilities keep you from securing and keeping gainful work. And there are two roads in. Road 1 is the standard schedular path, and it comes down to your numbers. You clear it if a single service-connected condition is rated 60% or more. One condition at 60 and the door's open. The other way onto Road 1, 2 or more conditions with at least one rated 40%, adding up to a combined 70 or higher. 40 plus with a 70 combined opens the same door. If you're sitting just under that bar, don't write it off. Run your combined math first, because the VA doesn't add ratings the normal way, and filing one secondary condition can push a 70 into the range that qualifies. Road 2 is the backstop for veterans who can't work but fall just short of those numbers. Your case goes up to the Director of Compensation Service for an extra schedular decision. It's a higher bar, but it exists so nobody's denied on a technicality. Now, that phrase, substantially gainful, it means work that earns you a real living. Below that line is marginal. Think earnings under the federal poverty level for one person, or a sheltered job with special accommodations a normal employer wouldn't make. The VA weighs the whole picture, not just the diagnosis. Your disabilities, your education, and your work history all matter, because a back injury that ends a career in manual labor hits differently than it would for a desk job. Here's where claims are won or lost. The evidence has to show what you can't sustain, not just what hurts. A list of symptoms won't carry it. The VA needs to see that the conditions stop you from keeping full-time work. What moves the needle is a treating provider putting it in writing that you can't sustain full-time work because of these service-connected conditions. Backed by how often a condition flares and how long, because unpredictable flares are what break a full-time job. Stack on anything concrete, test results, work limits on lifting, standing, concentration, or attendance. The more specific the record, the harder you make it for the VA to argue you could still hold down a job. Once your evidence is ready, you file. The main form is VA Form 21-8940, the application for increased compensation based on unemployability. You can file it on its own or right alongside a disability claim. Alongside it, there's VA Form 21-4192, a request for employment information that goes to your last employer. It's usually required and it backs up your side of the story about why the work stopped. Everything, the full eligibility rules, the marginal employment definition, and the current forms lives on one VA page, the Individual Unemployability page at va.gov. Bookmark it, because that's the official source, not a forum. You get it approved. The award isn't the finish line, and knowing the rules afterward keeps a win from turning into a headache. So let's cover what changes once TDIU is granted. You can still earn at the margins exactly like before. Marginal and sheltered work stays fine. What's different is gainful work. Take a real gainful job and keep it, and the VA can move to reduce the benefit, but only after you've held it for 12 continuous months. Because the benefit turns on employment, the VA can ask you to confirm your work status with VA Form 214140, the employment questionnaire. These days, it's request-based. They send it when they want to check, not on a fixed yearly schedule. If it comes, answer it. Ignoring it can put the benefit at risk. And if you do go back to substantially gainful work, tell the VA, don't wait to be asked. Keeping your record straight protects you, and it spares you a fight over payments down the road. Good news on the flip side, reductions are genuinely hard. The VA can't trim TDIU on a thin exam. It needs clear and convincing evidence that you're actually employable, and it has to follow the formal steps first. It gets safer with time. Once your rating's been in place for 20 straight years, it's locked. The VA can't reduce it at all unless it was built on fraud. A long-held TDIU award is about as secure as benefits get. One more reason it's worth chasing. Being paid at the 100% rate isn't just a bigger deposit. It opens the dependent add-ons on your check, and if the VA marks your case permanent, it can cascade into other 100% benefits for your family. So, the traps that cost veterans the most, assuming you need 100%, not filing because you're still working a little, sending a pile of symptoms instead of a work capacity opinion, and writing yourself off when you're sitting right under the bar. And one more, treating a denial as the end. It isn't. You can appeal, strengthen your work capacity record, and the extra schedular road is still there. A first no is a step in the process, not the verdict. Here's your move. Pull your combined rating and check it against the bar. One condition at 60 or 40 plus with a 70 combined. That tells you in 30 seconds whether the scheduler road is open. Then get a treating provider to put your work limits in writing and file Form 218940. If you're close but short, file a strong secondary first or build the extra scheduler case. Don't leave this money sitting there. If this cleared things up, subscribe. It helps the next veteran find it and send it to one who's leaving this money on the table. The full Veteran Field Manual chapter with every form and figure is on the way. Thanks for watching.